Hey y'all, it's Lippy with Gemini Homestead. And guess what? I'm in on the August Jamboree collaboration. Miss Mary Ellen over at Prepper Potpourri invited me along with some ladies, y'all, that know how to put their foot in it. And today, it's my turn. And I get to do my watermelon rind preserves. But I chose this because some of you may not know that my mother-in-law just moved in a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. And every year when I do watermelon rind preserves, I think about her. Now, I told her she was going to be in the camera, but she said no. So she's over watching. So I'm not going to put her on the camera, but I got to share this funny. 22 years ago, she saw me make watermelon rind preserves. Well, she happened to miss a step, okay? And y'all, I don't even know if I can hold my face right. She didn't know to take the peeling off. Here, the outside. She said, that was really tough, and I'm still not thinking what she's saying. She said, I don't know if I'm gonna make watermelon rind preserves. I like to never got it chopped up. I still didn't think nothing about it, okay? So, anyway, she gave it to her son-in-law. He said, yeah, Nanny, it was really good, a little crunchy. So then when I heard that, I said, Nanny, did you leave this part on? Yeah. I said, you ain't supposed to do that. Y'all, every year I make watermelon rind preserves, I think of my mother-in-law just chopping her little heart out. And I'm thinking, why is she struggling? There you go. So, I can't even hold my own composure. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you down. I'm going to show you all the ingredients like I've always done. But let's just start with the watermelon. That's the star of the show, right? And let's start by me showing you. I left you a piece. I'll show you. And I'm using a yellow meated, by the way. You can use any meated watermelon. Just make sure you scrub this very well. And then what I do is I cut mine in large pieces. But I'm going to drop you down. I'm going to show you how I prep the watermelon. Then we're going to come into all the ingredients that you're going to need. And y'all, this is simple. Very, very simple. But yeah, I had to start off with this video by telling this true but so funny story. If it's crunchy, you left the outside skin on. Just saying. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can see. Here's the piece I was telling you. And what I do is I leave just a little bit of the flesh. Then we have the rind. Then we have the outside skin. Okay? This is what's going to go away. This is what we're really preserving is the rind, but I like to leave a little flesh. Okay? Now, all I'm going to do, make sure that you do not want any of that outside. So, I'm going to try to get it to where the camera can see. And this is, you know, you do it however you want to. I'm doing it the way that makes it easy for me. Okay? Here we go. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to remove this skin. Just like that. Okay? And all I'm going to do, it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. There we go. Whoops. All right, now let's look at all our ingredients. Here's the ingredients, guys. I've got 5 cups of diced watermelon rind. 5 cups. And I've got 1 large peeled, diced, red delicious apple. And I did sprinkle lemon juice so it wouldn't turn. We're going to need 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. 3 cups of sugar. And 1/4 of a cup of red hot candy. Okay, in goes the watermelon rind. our apples, 3 cups of sugar. Now that's pure cane sugar. 1/4 of a cup of the lemon juice that I just squeezed. 1/4 of a cup. Now this is optional, guys. The candy is definitely optional. You will not taste the cinnamon, but it gives it a beautiful color and it gives it a little bit of warmth. And we like our watermelon rind preserves in the winter. So it gives it that little warmth, but it's not enough to make it overpowering with the cinnamon. Just giving a little bit of zest works for me just fine. Okay, let's do the other one. I've got my stove sitting on about, let me turn it up. We're gonna go to about a 6, because all we're gonna try to do is bring this up to a very slight boil. Not a rolling boil, a very slight boil. Then we will reduce the heat. And I'm gonna stir often. Don't panic, but I will let this cook an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I'm not just gonna leave you hanging. I will bring you back throughout and show you. There we go. I wanna get all of that zest out of there. We're gonna get this combined. There we go. Now in your ball book, it'll tell you to soak 5 to 6 hours with salt, rinse, soak again with cold water. But this is the recipe that I've always used. And, you know, they say if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. And it works well, guys. But there again, I'm using yellow meated. You can use red. All right. You seeing how it's looking? And as soon as I get it to that boil state, I'll show you, and then we're going to reduce the heat, and this takes patience, guys. Okay, I know you can tell that it's coming up to temp because of the steam. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to about a 2. Because I can see that it's wanting to start bubbling. And like I said, you want this to cook low and slow, because you're basically reducing this by half. And I told y'all 1/4 of a cup of red hot candy. Well, while this was coming up to temp, I washed up my dishes. That was 1/8 of a cup. I don't know why I always call it 1/4. So guys, it's 1/8 of a cup of these red hot candies, not 1/4 of a cup. But what we want to do, we want this to go an hour and a half to 2 hours, or until it reduces by half. That depends on your stove. I have seen this go an hour and 20 minutes, and it's ready to pull and jar up and process. So, but you really want to keep it stirring till all of those candies, see how candies are doing? You want to get them good and dissolved. All right, I'll give it about 15 minutes, and I'll bring you back and show you. That way you're keeping a visual of what's happening in this pot. Because you don't want it to stick. And those candies will stick at first until they dissolve. Okay, do you see this slight jiggle? Not a hard ball. This is what you want. And you want to be consistent with this. And then come in. Look at that beautiful color. And just come in and just give it a good stir to make sure, you know, there's no sticking at the bottom. And it shouldn't be. There's a lot of liquid here and everything has dissolved. But I wanted you to see the consistency that I'm looking for. I'll bring you back in an hour. That'll be a good fair time so you can get a visual of what you're starting to look for. For me, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. Isn't that gorgeous? Hour and 20 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. But if you can see where I'm pointing, let me see if my hand's in here. If you remember, we started right here. It has reduced by half. So we are ready to ladle up and get these 2 little jars, because it's going to probably make a pint and a pint and a half. in the water bath. Okay, I did what I call a half batch. Now I've got 3 gallons of these watermelon rinds in the freezer, but for video purposes, I wanted y'all to see. Now you could double this batch, but I was only doing single because I actually like to do this in the fall. It's less heat in the kitchen. But let me show you what I do with my jars. You see, it's not a rolling boil, it's just warm water, because I want the watermelon rind preserves, which is hot, going into hot jars. Now I do have an extra pint sitting over here, but I already know I'm not gonna need it. But like I said, you can double this recipe. Isn't this gorgeous? Okay, I brought it up to 1 inch of headspace, which is this bottom ring. Now I use a ivory chopstick, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna get the air out of here. Doesn't take much. I wanna make sure that this jar rim is nice and clean. I'm gonna come in with the flat, I'm gonna come in with the ring, and I've gotta get some, this is hot guys, and I'm gonna go finger tight. And let me go ahead and get the half pint done, and then we'll get ready to process this. Okay, we're gonna go in with our jars. We're gonna bring this up to a boil. You need 1 inch of headspace of water covering the jars. We're gonna bring this to a boil, and then we're gonna put the lid on, and we're gonna time it 15 minutes. But you need this to come up to a boil. Remember, it's very hot, so it won't take long. And you need 1 inch of water above the jars. Isn't that gorgeous? Now this one has much more fruit in it. Isn't that beautiful? A great holiday gift. And there we have it. Like I said, this was a small batch for a video purpose, but we got 1.5 pints. Now this does have fruit, but it has more gel, so you'll end up with a pure jelly consistency here. But I like to cover mine. And I do that just in case there is a failure. I do not have glass going everywhere. And I'm going to let these sit about 24 hours. I'll take the rings off, wipe my jars, check them, label them. And there you have it, watermelon rind preserves. Isn't that gorgeous? It's probably one of my favorite go-tos in the fall on a piece of toast or a warm biscuit. Like I said, that 1/8 of a cup of the candies, and that's strictly optional. You do not get the true cinnamon, you get this warmth, and it balances that sweetness. And what that apple does, because remember we had 5 cups of watermelon rind preserves, by adding that large red delicious apple, that gave us 6 cups total. Now I normally do 12 cups when I make this, but what that apple does is it breaks down and it doesn't stay solid, so it almost acts as a pectin as we're reducing it by half. You'll never know it's in there, but you get a different sweetness, and then you also get texture, and I like to balance those. But first and foremost, all you canners out there, or should I say new beginner canners, get you a ball book. Read it. There's so many great recipes. Now, my recipe is not in here, but the process is 15 minutes for water bath canning. And remember, you want 1 inch headspace, means water above the jar. But y'all, get you a ball book, For you new beginners, read it. Oh my gosh. And all the participants in the August Jamboree, check out their videos. I will put all of their channels in my description. Phenomenal recipes. Yeah, this is the real deal. This is some awesome canners out there. And I'm very proud and honored that Miss Mary Ellen invited me to join. So thank you, Miss Mary Ellen. Thank you all that's in the collab. I'm honored. I hope you try this recipe. But as always, stay safe and God bless.